A solitary sonar pulse drifts through the abyss, carving brief circles of awareness into a space that has forgotten sound. In the darkness, the Triton glides with quiet certainty, its matte hull absorbing what little light survives at this depth. The water moves cleanly over its bow, smooth, untroubled, as if the ocean itself makes room for its passing. Inside, the sonar screen remains empty, an unbroken void where nothing answers back. Only the hum of machinery keeps time, steady but fragile, like a heartbeat unsure of its own rhythm. Outside, bioluminescent specks drift past, indifferent and slow. Behind the vessel, the propeller turns with deep, patient force, leaving a faint wake that vanishes almost immediately. Then, a muted metallic groan, a single bubble escaping into the dark, a pressure needle trembling upward. The hull tilts, almost imperceptibly. Sonar quickens, an alarm cries once, and the abyss swallows it whole. Red emergency light sweeps through the empty control room, pulsing like a failing heartbeat. Klaxons echo in the confined metal space, shaking the walls as if the vessel itself were crying out in warning. Outside, the Triton's descent steepens. Stress fractures race along its hull, thin lines of surrender spreading through steel that once seemed unbreakable. Air escapes in long, hazy streams, drifting upward like the last breath of something alive. Inside a viewport, light flickers violently, white, then red, then nothing. A hairline crack forms at the corner of the reinforced glass, delicate and fatal. The pressure does not stop, it only waits and tightens. Bubbles rise in frantic spirals, catching the dying lights of the submarine as it falls past them. Along the hull, metal bends inward, groaning under the weight of the ocean. The sound is deep and ancient, like tectonic plates shifting in the dark. A pipe bursts. Steam roars across the corridor, drowning alarms in a blinding scream. The camera trembles. The vessel trembles. Everything that once held firm begins to let go. From the outside, Triton plunges nearly vertical. Its flickering lights shrinking against the dark cliff face it briefly illuminates on its way down. Inside, a depth gauge spins wildly past every limit, numbers dissolving into a blur. More cracks, more water. A hull plate tears free and spirals into the abyss like a discarded memory. Flooding corridors fill with sparks and rising chaos. The ocean enters without hesitation, without mercy. Below, the submarine grows larger as it falls toward the viewpoint, its lights like fading eyes in a collapsing body. A pressure valve hisses in protest. Searchlights die. Metal screams. A desperate, rising note that fractures into small internal explosions. The conning tower buckles. Steel ribs twist. A final eruption of air engulfs the frame, one last outcry swallowed by the deep. And then, silence. A single heartbeat of absolute black. The descent is over. The ocean has taken everything. Darkness holds for a long, unbroken moment. Silence stretches into something almost physical, until a thin ringing drifts through it, brief, fading, swallowed by the void. The abyssal plane emerges slowly as if reluctant to be seen. Marine snow drifts downward in endless patience, each particle a quiet marker of time. A small piece of twisted metal tumbles through the water, turning weightlessly before settling into the mud with a softness that denies the violence that brought it here. A larger hull fragment follows, striking the seabed with a heavy, silent bloom of silt, an impact felt rather than heard. As the cloud disperses, a scratched number appears on the plating, a remnant of identity left behind in the dark. Currents shift, time moves. Sediment begins to bury the smaller debris. A pale crab walks across the wreckage, indifferent, unhurried. Life continues where memory cannot. The camera widens, revealing a desolate field of twisted metal, still, pressure-bound, forgotten. Then a sudden beam of artificial light breaks the darkness. A faint electric hum approaches. The ROV enters, slow and deliberate. The search begins. The ROV drifts forward, its camera trembling with each pulse of the thrusters. Its beam sweeps across the debris field, quiet ruins scattered across the plain, the final geometry of destruction. Then the light settles on something vast, a shape too large, too distorted, too silent. The abyssal monument emerges slowly as if the darkness hesitates to release it. The hull, once sleek, once purposeful, lies twisted and broken, its steel skin oxidized into ghostly shades. Silt drifts through torn openings, brushing over mangled bulkheads and exposed wiring like a cold, underwater snowfall. The ROV glides closer. Cables severed by unimaginable force hang like frozen tendons. A dark compartment yawns open, revealing crushed machinery and shadows that feel bottomless. The tower is snapped, bent at angles that deny memory of what it once was. From a distance, the ROV is a single trembling point of light beside an immense tomb. The scale overwhelms. Silence becomes heavier. A small school of silver fish drifts through the wreckage, their brief flashes of life, indifferent to the tragedy beneath them. The current moves through a torn torpedo tube, stirring delicate clouds of sediment. The forward section appears in full, a monument resting in perfect stillness, its presence both violent and sacred. The manipulator arm reaches out, touches a fragment. Silt blooms gently, a slow-motion breath released into the deep. It feels like a gesture of remembrance. The ROV resumes its slow survey, its light alone against the crushing dark. Bioluminescent organisms shimmer above the wreck, casting an eerie glow that outlines the broken hull. Then the ROV fades its lights, leaving the monument suspended in the soft blue-green aura of the deep. The ascent begins. The wreck recedes, becoming small again, swallowed by the dark that keeps its stories. When the ROV's light disappears entirely, only scattered points of natural bioluminescence remain, quiet guardians of a memory the ocean has never released. The abyssal monument rests alone, a small, dark silhouette on a vast plain of cold permanence. Its isolation feels infinite, as though time itself has stepped back to give tragedy space to settle. An anglerfish drifts near the wreckage, its dim lure throwing shifting shadows across torn steel. For a moment, its glow makes the ruins appear alive again. Then the light moves on, indifferent. Rust spreads across exposed metal, patient and unstoppable. Each flake of corrosion marks another quiet hour claimed by the deep. A tattered insignia stirs in the current, fluttering like a memory too fragile to hold. From above, the wreck is a broken geometry, a monument arranged by violence, rearranged by silence. Life has begun to take root here, tiny anemones clinging to steel, turning an instrument of death into the foundation of something new. Bioluminescent light pulses softly, like candles in an underwater cathedral. The monument stands at its center, an altar shaped by loss. The camera pulls away, slow and reverent. Details fade, edges dissolve. Darkness closes around the wreck once more. Only the seabed remains in view, ripples of silt drifting where the story once lay open. A single bubble rises from the floor, a final echo of breath, ascending toward a surface it will never reach. The void deepens as the bubble climbs. One lonely sonar ping answers it, repeating the note from the beginning. A circle completed in silence. The bubble vanishes, blackness returns, and the abyss keeps its memory.
The sea forgets nothing.